Source.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. Will treat you right.
Yes, he will treat you right. 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, Matt Gibbs is here from Sunrise Automotive and Crossroad Auto Sales. So if you have a need to get your car fixed, you might want to go see Matt. If you want to just ask a question about that noise your car is making or the slow leak in your right rear tire that had 13 pounds in it the other day that somehow looked pretty good, but still 13 pounds. No, I don't know if that happened to you, but you might want to call in and ask Matt about it. The number is 622-9622. And if you just need a new car or you want to buy a new car as a gift for somebody, Matt is over at Crossroad Auto Sales. Also, the truth is they're both on the same property. Great place to buy a used car. A lot of times you don't know when you see a used car dealer and you're not familiar with who is running it. But because we know Matt, I can promise you, you will be happy with whatever you buy. Even if there's something wrong with it that he didn't catch before he went out for sale, he'll take care of it, right? Because you did for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how's everything?
Everything's good. How's you?
Have you had anybody buy a car as a gift?
Oh, I don't know if they've bought it as a gift.
Oh, you wouldn't know that?
Yeah, sometimes they'll tell, but sometimes they're just in there wanting to buy the car. So
Yeah. So we heard something the other day, and I've been waiting till now to ask you this. Okay. Somebody said, unless you're really rich, the best way to buy a car is to buy a 1-year-old car and then get a new 1-year-old car every year. Always trade it in. Because it's going to hold its value for a year. You're not going to have to take up that the decline in value when it first leaves the lot. Let the rich guy take care of that because he's going to trade in his car next year anyway.
Is it the best way to buy the car?
Yeah, the least likely to have mechanical problems if you have a 1-year-old car that you take to the 2-year mark.
I mean, that's a perspective.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of folks that can't afford to buy a car like every year or every 2 years.
That would be the upper end of the income level.
Yeah, I mean, it's like to let the rich guy hit the,
he gets the first car.
Okay, and then all of us other guys can do this other deal.
I can't.
Well, I mean,
I'm not talking about me, but I know your listeners are wealthy, so.
Yeah, the 13 of them, yeah, they tell me they are. I don't know if that's the program for everybody,
Well, I know it's not for me, but I'm wondering.
There are folks that do that.
Yeah.
There really are.
And why don't they just buy a new car then if they can afford that?
But because they're smarter than that, I guess.
But is it smart to buy a 1-year-old car?
Yeah, it is.
Because?
Well, I mean, it's
still under warranty.
1-year-old isn't really the scenario, the warranty. But here, can I throw out a scenario?
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to say happy birthday to my wife.
Happy birthday.
Sheila's today is Tuesday, November 20th.
Nice.
Okay, today's her birthday. Happy birthday.
How old?
I'm not going to tell you how old my wife is.
I did that on purpose.
I know you did.
I just wanted to see you squirm.
Okay.
But Sheila, he didn't squirm at all, just so you know. He didn't miss a beat.
No. We weren't going to go there. No. So I have a customer.
Uh-huh.
She's got a very successful business here in town.
Uh-huh.
And she brings in her Tahoe, and we're going to service it. She asked me after we serviced the Tahoe, man, would you just drive it down the road and just to see what you think about how it drives? Okay. So I said, sure. So we service it. I drive it down the road.
That's what I want to do too.
I come back and I'm like, dear woman, how do you even drive this thing? And she's like, well, what do you mean? I said, let me show you what I mean. Instead of explain to you what I'm talking about, let me go show you. So I ran to a dealer, another dealer here in town, and I grabbed a vehicle off his lot because I didn't happen to have that type of vehicle in my place. And I brought it over to her, and I said, get in this car and go drive it. And she comes back and she says, oh my, do I? And
it was the same kind of car she had?
Same kind of car.
Okay.
And it's, oh my, I understand what you're talking about. Now, her car probably had close to, I think it had over 200,000 miles on it. and this car had 40,000 miles on it. And make a long story short, she drove home with that car that day.
So you made a sale for somebody else?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And that car was a perfect deal for her. It wasn't. It actually had, I think, 28,000 miles on it. And I look. That car was a great deal for her. And the reason it was a great deal for her is it might have been close to the end of its warranty period, but here she's getting out of a car that had 200,000 miles on it. It never had an engine replaced.
What was wrong with hers? What was it doing?
It was just tired. It was
just
tired.
Sluggish or not?
It was wore out. The front end had a lot of slop in the front end.
Really?
It just needed a lot of stuff done to it.
And you knew just by driving it.
I could feel it. And so, do you really want to? Yes, I could have taken that car and turned it in, fixed it all up. Or is it time for her? Because of her.
So that's the relationship we need to have with you. We need to,
right.
Because otherwise I wouldn't know. I mean, I think the guy who goes for the 1-year-old car every year doesn't know cars. He probably doesn't have a friend like you.
Well, and I have a real good friend like that will not. He won't buy a car with a lot of miles on it. He won't. He just isn't.
Well, that makes
do
sense.
That.
Yeah.
Because it is so scary for him. You know what I'm saying? It's scary.
Even you don't want to break down, yeah.
And you're not going to break. I mean,
that's the thing. Most people just get me there, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, that car that's got 40,000 miles is going to get you there. This lady's car had 200,000 miles,
and it got her there.
This is a true story. I'm not making this up. But if you don't believe me, you can call my shop. But okay, last week I have a customer. He drives from South Carolina. South Carolina.
Nice. So just to go to you.
Just because he wanted me to work on his truck.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Now this truck has 600,000 miles on it.
Wow.
That's 550,000.
Did you drive it?
Yeah, I drive it every time he brings it, and we drive it, and it drives.
So it passes your test.
Yeah, but see, he loves this truck. Now this guy could buy and drive whatever he wanted.
Okay.
And he could write a check and be done. Okay?
Right.
Not to make no payments, not worry about it being 1 year old. He has the finances to do that. But he drives this truck. He loves this truck with 500,000 miles on it. And we just keep it.
And he comes to you regularly?
He comes to me at least, I'd say probably 3-4 times a year.
Wow. And you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Yeah, interesting subject. You know, like Matt, when you got people coming in looking at cars, you know, it's like like a 10-year-old car with 50,000 miles on it, or a 1-year-old car with 150,000 on it. Which would be it's kind of hard to determine which would be the better deal, right?
Well, I mean, it's really the car's going to tell me which car is the better deal. You know, I bought a Dodge truck at the auction one day. This Dodge truck had 320,000 miles on it when I bought it.
Yeah.
But this truck looked like it had 50,000 miles on it. It was unbelievable. It was all highway miles. But then I'll get another car that'll have 40,000 miles on it, and it looks like someone drove it through the jungles of Africa. You know, I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the truck with the 310,000 miles on it. So
right.
That's one of the things that I do probably different than a lot of other guys. Every car that I buy, every car that's on my lot, every single car I have touched, I've looked at, and I've inspected before I put it on my lot. And then once it gets to my lot, now I have other people to inspect it.
Yeah. Basically speaking, is it easier to sell a newer car with a lot of miles rather than an older car with hardly any?
Well, it really depends on the person. It depends on the person. It depends on their finances. It depends on, I try not to sell a car to anybody that I don't talk people into. buy this car. Even Larry. When Larry came, Larry's like, I want this convertible. And in my heart, I'm like, no, you don't.
Yes, I did. I did want it. Yeah.
He wanted it, but I knew that wasn't a good car for Larry. But that was Larry's choice. And then Larry had to drive the car to find out. I had to loan him a car and let him drive it for 1,000 miles. And then he comes back and says, man, now this is a car. Yeah, that's the one I wanted you to have, brother.
Yeah.
But everybody's different, and I love to put people in something that they want.
Yeah. See, another real quick question, being a holiday time, with all the shopping and buying and gift giving and all that stuff, is a used car, is this a busy time for you guys, or is it kind of dead?
Well, it's I don't know. Last year it was horrible. Last year this time was horrible. This year it's just totally different than it was last year already. And but our business and my business, doing that, I do a lot of the my own financing and whatnot. That's going to really start taking place after the beginning of the new year when people start getting their income tax money back.
Yeah, do you find a lot of people coming in by you and saying, hey, I want to get a Christmas car for my kid or my wife or somebody?
Not so much. Not so much. I see mostly my stuff is going to be like, hey, I just got my income tax money, and I'm ready to buy a car, and can you help me with that? And that's what I see more than anything.
Yeah.
But there'll be a lot of red ribbons and bows and stuff being put on cars in the next couple of months.
Yeah, I bet there will. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you. You too, man.
So there was an article I'm looking for right now that Ford wants to eliminate. Here it is. Ford wants to eliminate odor from new cars by baking them. Did you happen to see that?
No.
Can I read it to you?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
For 99 cents, you can read it to me.
Ford Motor Company has filed a patent application for an odor removal process that eliminates the new car smell after a vehicle has been purchased. This is the latest attempt in an industry effort to accommodate consumer tastes in different parts of the world. Consumers in China say they hate the new car smell. Well, that's an interesting thing. We love that smell in this country. Typically, everybody says, I want a new car smell, right?
Yeah, like you can go buy it at Walmart. Don't they sell it in a bottle, like new car smell?
I think so.
Yeah, you spray it in your car.
I thought so. So anyway, they have a new patent. Consumer feedback from Chinese buyers in recent years has been consistent. More than 10% of drivers complained about the issue. How about that? Who knew there was even a thing? I always thought the new car smell was put in there intentionally.
Why don't they just do this? I got an easy way to correct that. Just put a cat in there in a few hours.
Oh, that'll get rid of it, yeah.
That'll get rid of that.
Put a dead mouse in the headliner.
There you go.
That'll do it, too.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've experienced that one before.
Hey, if you are listening and you are thinking you want to get a gift for somebody who owns a car, drives a car, is in cars all the time, in addition to Matt fixing cars, he also sells gift certificates so that you can fix somebody's car in the future. Right?
That's right.
Just keep that in mind. And tires are always a good thing. What's another good thing people usually get as an accessory gift? Tires aren't really an accessory. But.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised. I mean, some people, accessory gift, there's all kinds of things you could add to your car. But most of the time when we do it, it's practical stuff. They need the oil change, they need to get serviced, and wiper blades and brakes and, just the things that the maintenance and that cars need on a regular basis.
And tires nobody likes to buy tires, I don't think. But you have to.
Well, I don't think anybody really likes. That's the thing about me. I got this company, okay? And this company, I get to see both sides of people. I see the happy side of people, and I see the upset and the mad side of people. Because when people come in and buy a car, that's a happy side.
Yes, it's happy.
They're excited. I got me a new car. We go. Come on, let's go for a ride. And then they got to bring the car in and get it fixed. And that's the other side of the people. So I got to change my hats real quick. Are you a happy person or a sad person today? I'm a sad person. Okay, you got something wrong with your car. Let's. So I think with the gift certificates and stuff like that, I think it just helps people. here's something that's gonna.
So it won't be so you won't be so angry.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is, because we do the news here, I hate the stories that there's an accident that could have been prevented if somebody had gotten new tires, because every year there's a few of them. I don't know how many, but every year there's a story about an interstate wreck. The tire came apart or something because it hadn't been changed and it should have been. And it's just one of those things that you hate to hear.
Well, and seeing that goes back to maintenance. Did a tire come apart just because it was low on air?
And that could be too. Yeah. 13 pounds in my tire the other day.
See, you had a nail or something in there, didn't
Something,
you?
I don't know.
Did you put air in it?
Yeah. Filled up and still filled, so I don't know. I don't know if somebody
Did you actually check it with a gauge, or did you look?
No, that thing at the convenience store.
Okay.
It tells you. It said 13 pounds, and it went up to 32, and everything was fine.
Yeah, but you need to get it checked out.
I know. I should take it to you.
See, right there. See, right there.
That's an example.
That's an example. You had 13 pounds of air in the tire.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
You put air in it to bring it to me. At least let me check it.
How come 13 pounds can hold up a car? That just doesn't seem like enough.
No, none. It doesn't take no air to hold up a car. It's still going to stay up.
It just doesn't seem like it should be enough, right? 13 pounds is all it takes.
Yeah, I'm sitting there looking around.
And that's what you're doing. Okay.
And I got this light. There's this light that shines in your eyes.
Right. Is it bothering you?
Only when I stare at it.
You know what we haven't heard in a while?
Yes, I do.
Here we go. I haven't heard this in a while.
Cars are cars all over the world. Cars are cars.
All right, you have another phone call. Good morning, you're on the air with Matt.
Thank you, caller. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning. So did you ever hear the one about the stagecoach with no wheels?
No.
Yeah, you know what held it up?
That's funny.
Bandits.
Oh, man. That's where this show has gone to.
Yeah.
A horse walks into the bar. The bartender says, "Hey, sir, why such a long face?" That's what this show's come to.
Have a good day.
You too.
Must be feeling better. He's telling jokes. He's under the weather.
Under the weather?
Yeah, that's Jim. You know Jim.
Yeah.
All right, phone lines are open if you want to call Matt and ask a question about your car. Maybe it's making a rumbling noise or you're just not sure what that noise is. You can imitate it with your mouth, and Matt can diagnose it.
Sometimes I can.
It's like a psychic trick.
Yeah, it's not a psychic trick.
I saw this trick on TV. Okay, so the two magicians, and one guy has his back to him, and he goes to the audience, and the guy from in the audience gives him a bunch of change out of his pocket. And so the guy drops a coin into like a wine glass, and just from the sound of it, the other guy can tell you it's a penny. And I thought, I bet I could do that. I could tell a penny from a quarter, right? Couldn't you? And then he takes a quarter and drops it into the glass, quarter. I said, I could do that. Then he takes all the coins and drops them in there, and the guy tells him all the coins and what's the dollar amount in the glass. I said, oh, come on. That's crazy. How could you do that? Then he takes the guy's driver's license and he drops it in there. And he says, it's from the state of Nebraska. What? Just the sound of it. That's a trick.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Good morning, Matt. This is Bob calling. Quick question for you. Okay. When you store a car for 5 months, is it better to leave it with a full tank of gas or low? Because the reason I ask is, if you leave it with a full tank of gas, will that gas go bad sitting for 5 months? What do you recommend?
Yeah, if it's me, I would tell you to fill it completely up, and I'd get some fuel stabilizer, and I'd just put that inside there, and then it's ready to go. But I would leave it full. I would always store, when you're going to store something, store it with a full tank of gas.
Really?
Yeah.
Matt, that's exactly what I did. I filled it with fuel. A Dodge Challenger with a Hemi. and then I put fuel stabilizer in, so we're good now for storage.
Now, if you need someone to babysit that car while you're gone for 5 months, I'd be happy to watch it for you.
Yeah, right. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
All right, so you and he know what you were talking about. What is fuel stabilizer? What is that?
It's just an additive.
And you get it where?
And you can get it at any parts house.
Really?
Yeah.
And is that the only thing it's used for?
Yeah, it's just to
storing
stabilize the fuel. It keeps it from the fuel. I don't know if you ever mess with a nasty or an old. It gets stale.
Okay, gasoline.
Yeah, and
okay.
it has a nasty smell to it.
I guess I have, because my lawnmower just sits there all winter long.
Yeah, and like when you first crank it up, you'll get an odd smell in the exhaust of it. Well, this will turn like brownish and tarnish, and it kind of messes up your fuel injectors But this stabilizer keeps it from breaking down.
So that's it. That's the only thing you use it for.
Yeah, and you want to keep it full, because if you fill it up, then there's less condensation will be building up in the fuel tank. And back in the day, and it's not so much anymore, but the fuel pump assemblies, back in the day, we could replace the electric fuel pumps inside the gas tanks and stuff. But now they've pretty much made it a module. They've made it a one-piece thing. But it's made out of plastic. So if you got a quarter of a tank of gas, part of this stuff is going to be submersed in fuel, and then everything above it is going to be out in open air. Not in fuel. So when we've had some issues with the plastic stuff getting brittle and break in, and that's an expensive repair if you got.
Is it worse if you have ethanol in the gasoline? Yeah,
the stabilizer even helps with that, because all gasoline out there, unless you're buying something without alcohol, it's.
So I wanted to tell you something. We went to Ocala Country Days.
Yeah.
And there were people dressed up in clothing from the 1800s.
Yeah.
And I was sitting next to this lady, and she was sitting next to a young boy, maybe her son or maybe grandson. And she points out to one of the ladies walking in one of the old dresses. And she says, "You see that dress?" And the little boy says, "Yes." And she says, "That's how women dressed back in the day." And he says, "How did they dress back in the night?" Isn't that great? That's a true story. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's one of those things that the kids say are the funniest things, right?
Yeah.
They dress at night. He didn't know that. I heard you just say that this is how we did it back in the day.
Back in the day.
It reminded me of that, yeah. So what are you doing for Thanksgiving? What are you thankful for?
There's so much to be thankful for, We look at our weather.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, there's people walking in and out of the mall, man. They don't even have jackets on or nothing. This is awesome. I mean, and family. Yeah. We had our Thanksgiving last Saturday.
Did you?
Yeah, because there's so many, with the 6 children and the husbands and the wives and the grandchildren and the families that are all around. We just do it the Saturday before.
That way they can go other places on Thanksgiving Day.
And they're not obligated to come to our house and stuff. So
what leftovers did you like the best?
We didn't really have a whole lot of leftovers at all. It was pretty much cleaned up. That that everybody does. Everybody brings a little something, and we just have a feast. Did
you hear that scientists might be able to clone the woolly mammoth?
That would be awesome, because I've always wanted to own a woolly mammoth. And if they could clone one, I would name it George.
Well, don't name it too much, because I think they want to raise him as food.
No, I don't want to eat woolly mammoth. No, he's George, man. I got a couple acres. George, he'd live a good life in my house.
Did I tell you there's a restaurant in downtown Ocala that sells rabbit?
No.
And deer, venison, and bison, and gator, and duck, and of course chicken and beef.
Huh.
And what am I leaving out, Robin? Do they have snake over there? I can't remember. Yeah, it's an old, what used to be Starbucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What do they call it? Roadkill Cafe?
Well, that would be something if I'm woolly mammoth. Where is Sunrise Automotive and Crossroad Auto Sales?
You can visit us at 1800 Northwest 10th Street in Ocala, Florida. Give us a call at 352-690-1993.
Have a happy Thanksgiving,
Thank
Matt.
you.
Thank you.
You too.
We'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. With rain in the forecast, there's a flash flood and mudslide warning for areas burned by wildfire in California.
What is really important that people realize is that if